I'm so glad to be here with you today on Live Fridays with Hey Carol Jean. This is where you guys get to ask me questions about a particular topic. And today we are talking about burnout, autistic burnout specifically. And I'm going to be sharing some things about identifying burnout and also some insights on recovery, because that can be a really tricky point, is to know, well, am I on the right road? Am I on the path and the road to recovery from burnout? Sometimes it's just about identifying where you are in your burnout journey, and knowing sort of, if you're in burnout, how to get out of it and how to move forward. So I've got my phone up to make sure that I can access any comments that you guys have going on. So give me a sec here, to make sure, because I don't want to miss anything, because I hate that. I hate when things don't always connect. There we go. Something went wrong. Technical error. We're trying to fix it, says. So I don't know. Hopefully I'm live and you guys can see me. Hey, oh, good. Hey, Kai. Oh, definitely feeling burnout. Great. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. And I know there were a couple other people in the group that were like, yes, this was perfect timing. I need this today. Hey, Rachel. Oh my gosh, so glad to see you. So I've got my coffee. I hope you guys have something too. All right, so we're talking about burnout today. We're talking about identifying things to know if you're in burnout. Most of us probably are at some point, off and on. It's this constant cycle of trying to find that balance. Part of the unveiling method, and to help you guys get introduced to me and what the process of the unveiling method is, I created Burnout Balance, which is the free installment of the unveiling method. And it is a great place to start. So if you haven't gotten your Burnout Balance, and it's just a 5-day mini course, the emails are sent directly to your inbox, and you get a beautiful, very simple worksheet to help you take you through the 5 days of sort of unveiling, identifying, and creating your burnout balance prevention and recovery plan. It's specifically tailored to you. I will be updating and upgrading this burnout balance coming up in the next few weeks and adding some videos to it. Right now it is all text, but I like to do some videos and things because everybody learns differently. So hopefully that'll be helpful. If you're here, drop in the chat box, say hi, let me know that you're here with us. I see we've got, about 7 people and the number keeps jumping up. So I want to give everybody just a few minutes to get here. Well, one of the reasons we're talking about burnout in particular and being able to identify some of those signs, it's going to be different for each person. And it's something that I have experienced for decades. One of the reasons that I created the Burnout Balance worksheet, the 5-day program, and look, it may not take you 5 days, let's just say is 5 steps, because we all work on our own schedule and our own time. And everything that I do is self-paced. Guys, I don't want you to ever feel like you have to get something done on a deadline or a timeline, or I have to be there live and do this right now or I'm going to miss it. No, you don't. And I don't want anybody to ever feel that, because we work in our own way. We work in our own time and our own schedule, and that's different for every person. So replays are always available. Everything that you get to do at your own pace and in your way and when the time is right for you. Because everybody's timing is different, and your timing is always perfect when it's right for you. So some of the signs to look for burnout. For me, one of the things that I know that I created for myself, and it's a constant evolution in that Burnout Balance worksheet, when you get it, it will constantly evolve. And I revisit mine pretty regularly to say, okay, where am I right now in this process? What things are going on in my life? What have I noticed? All right, so getting real with you guys and just sharing some things, because the whole reason I'm in here today is because I've got some new insights to share on burnout. Because I've been going through some burnout signposts, those big giant signs that jump up and go, okay, this is an indicator from your list, Carol Jean, that you are creeping up on burnout. You haven't had enough rest or restoration. And when everything stays the same and things are constant, my routine stays the same, it's good. I know when I'm slipping. I know when I'm getting tired. I'm more aware of those things. Well, I have alexithymia. So sometimes my realization of even with my new tools and all the things that I know, even that, it still sometimes will creep up on me slower than normal because things change. Well, in the last 6 months, I've had a lot of changes in my life. I've had a lot of really great things. They've been fantastic, but they've required a lot more energy and a lot more attention. So I was being aware of it because I know that, hey, things are coming in. I'm doing a lot more than I normally do in these areas. So I knew, okay, my antenna was up. I was aware. So I started paying attention. I said, okay, I got to block in some more restoration period because, energy is not created, but it is an exchange. You either give it away or you take it back. So finding that balance for energy is really the key component for me and for most people for burnout, because our exertion as autistics can leave us in a deficit of energy because it requires so much energy for us to engage and interact in the world and just to operate from an executive function standpoint. Hello, my ADHD brothers and sisters out there. From just that standpoint, it requires a whole lot. So I noticed that a couple weeks ago I had a migraine. I haven't had migraines in ages. So I knew, okay, I don't have enough rest buffered into or breaks buffered into my periods of active time. So I started to add more in. I started to block out bigger chunks. And I started to add in a few other things, like I started doing some nighttime yoga to help. I wasn't sleeping really well because I had other things, other environmental factors going on that were making it more difficult for me to sleep. Yes, I will be having skeet shooting practice with Josh's Xbox later. Contributing factor to my not sleeping. So, as you move into these certain things and you start to identify, okay, I'm feeling depleted and I'm not getting enough restoration, and you start to put those restoration periods back in, and you're not seeing a balance, you're not seeing a reclamation of that returning, then you got to step back and kind of revisit, well, where am I right now? And really that comes back to a much more significant quality question. And it's not, what am I doing? It's, who am I being? Let me repeat that. Who am I being? Let me explain this. I came to this journey and I said, let me figure out who I am. Let me unmask. And you guys have heard me say this. I don't do just specifically unmasking. That is the tool. But the process of getting back to and reclaiming my space and myself in the world was to unveil. And it's not just a question of who am I, but it's a question of who am I being? Because we have things in our life that we want. We know what we want our life to look like and feel like. And we know what we have to do and what we have to not do. But it comes back to flipping it around, because we think that, well, in order for me to have what I want, I have to do these things in order to be this person. And a lot of the root of burnout comes from that broken map. Because you think in order to have, you have to do. In order to do, to be, you have to do. And that doing is what is killing us. And it is a slow, painful death of the autistic person, because we will do ourselves into oblivion and burn out. So the better, more quality question to get back to the root of it is, who am I being? I looked around, and this week, I intentionally was not doing a lot of things. For me, guys, making my bed every morning is one of the things that means and is a sign, and a signpost for me that, hey, you're doing well. You're in balance. because this is one of those things that brings you joy. It helps you start your day, and when you get back into bed, it's always nice. I haven't made my bed at all this week, and I didn't do it on purpose. I chose not to because that was more energy than I had. I've been recovering from a really massive migraine that I had on Friday and Saturday. And that was my huge red flag because a couple weeks ago I had a migraine and I started to put back in those balancing things into my life, but it wasn't enough. And it wasn't balancing everything out. So then I had to say, okay, if this isn't working, what do I have to add that's different? So in the middle of February, I blocked out the second week of March in my calendar. And I said, okay, I have this really important project that I'm working on, and I need to have lots of resources and creativity in this time period. So I'm going to block this week out, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to unplug from social media. I'm going to step back from everything that I have going on, and that is going to be my concentrated period of restoration. But I found that that wasn't soon enough. So I've had to adjust and address where to find those things. So my friend Nancy and I were talking, and she said that this was okay for me to share with you guys. And we were talking about signposts, because that's one of the things in the burnout balance is making sure you have those signposts. Because if I didn't know that getting a migraine was one of the things that was sort of the precursor or the red flag sign that said, hey, Carol Jean, you're getting out of balance and you need to kind of check yourself before you wreck yourself. I would have kept going because my alexithymia gets in the way sometimes. And, my desire to do instead of be gets mixed up. So I had to stop and ask myself, who am I being? And that question led to some deeper realizations that I hope will help you and lead to some deeper realizations for you as well. So it's not just about what I'm doing, but it's who am I being? Am I being the person that I have chosen to be, that I am crafting my life to be, or am I just doing myself into burnout? And my answer to that was, you're doing more than you're being. And that might seem confusing. And it may be just like, oh my God, she's gone into this woo-woo stuff. But no, honestly, truthfully, I was being things that I am, but that I wasn't taking into account for all the changes. And when you are trying to find the balance in your life, there's constant change. That is a given. That is a given. And I am all about the actions and the restoration that it takes to find balance. It is real easy, and I can say this from personal experience, to fall in the trap of, I'm stuck. To get stuck in the suck, you know what I mean? You get stuck in the suck. It's real easy to get stuck in the suck because your emotions take over and that horrible physical feeling of just feeling like crap take over. But it's a choice also, I have found. I got stuck in the suck, and it was a habit. It had become a habit because it was easier to stay stuck in the suck and complain and just say, I don't have a choice. I have no way to get out of this, And part of the burnout balance is stepping back and acknowledging that you have a choice. You are the creator. You don't have that thought without your control and your acknowledgement and your leadership. So how are you leading your life? How are you taking where you are, stuck in the suck, or saying, I'm going to find an answer for myself. I'm going to step back and I'm going to stop doing, and I'm just going to start being the person that I want to be in life, in my life, and in world because I can do it in a way nobody else can. And this isn't a competition because comparison is the thief of joy, my friends. Nancy and I were talking, and she said, I know you mentioned about making up your bed, Carol Jean, and that's an indicator for you. When you hadn't made up your bed, you know you're not doing well. And you know that you're on the road to recovery when you start noticing you're making your bed a couple times a week. She said, for me, she said, I know it because I do my hair and my makeup. She said, I feel like doing it, cleaning. Well, guys, I've looked at my messy bed for a week and I have gone, I really need to strip the bed and wash those sheets. Well, today I did it. So I know that signpost is good. That signpost is saying, you stripped your bed today. You had the energy to strip your bed and put them in the washing machine. Before I came in on this live, I was running into the laundry room and swapping them from the washer to the dryer. So part of the burnout balance is finding and identifying what your signposts are. What is it that you have noticed about yourself in your everyday life? And you can't really know what those things are until you stop and pay attention. Part of what you do in that first day, that first step of the Burnout Balance worksheet series is to look and see where you are right now. Evaluate where you are. What are you doing with your time? Here's the doing part. What are you doing with your time? Where's your energy going? And where are you buffering in and adjusting places for restoration to bring energy back in? Now, restoration comes in 7 different forms. And we talked about creative rest on the Chatty Audis talk show last week. And this coming week, March the 11th, in Chatty Audis, we are talking about OCD and autism. So make sure you tune in for that live chat. But part of knowing what affects you and where your energy is being aware of it. Choosing who you're being in the world and not just what you're doing. Because we're people of service. We are people that tend to want to do things for others, to be of service to the next person. And part of that, having that purpose and that drive, is also that it can be depleting if we don't have the right balance in there. I love it because there were a couple people that sent me some messages and said, please tell me there's going to be a replay today. Please tell me there's going to be a replay because I really need this, but I am so burnt out I can't attend the live. And guys, I want you to know that's perfectly okay, and I understand that. And that's why the replays are available. That's why there's different ways. So drop in the chat box, and my comments aren't popping up for some reason. The last one I had was Rachel saying, hey, I'm with you. So I'm not really sure why my feed's not working there and my phone's not doing it either. Well, we're going to try it again. Here we go. Let's see if I can get into this. Oh, it's still telling me something went wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I really hate this that I can't see your questions. Please make sure that if you have a question or you have a comment about burnout or you want to know something deeper, pop it in the comments section below because I'll go in after I get off of this live chat and I'll go in and I'll personally answer each one of your questions. I may even pop back in and just do a short video to answer those for you. So one of the tips I want to talk about to kind of give you a place to find some rest in your balanced recovery journey is notifications on your phone. This was a really huge one for me. It creates so much stress and anxiety within my body, and it's this compulsion that if I know it's there, I have to check it. If you need a break, if you are finding that you too are expending a great amount of energy. Oh, hey, Rebecca. Hey, you popped in. Awesome. I am seeing some feed coming through now. So if you are finding that those notifications on your phone are causing that physical stress and that energy depletion for you as well, here's a tip. If you have an Android phone or an Apple phone, you can do this. Go into your settings, go into your apps, Go into the individual apps, go into the notification setting, turn them off. Turn them completely off. You know you're going to go check it. Schedule it into your day. Neuroscience shows that our brains don't want to know the to-do list. They don't want to know the what. They want to know the when. The brain wants to know when you're going to do something. So go ahead and schedule it into your day and just say, hey, 15 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon. I want to be able to set aside 8 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to check my Instagram. Your brain then goes, oh, okay, we got a time for this. We know when we're going to do it, so I can quit worrying about it subconsciously and I can quit using up all this energy. And it will be a huge, huge stress reliever. Hey, Jason. Hey, guys. Oh, hey, Bruce. Glad you guys are popping in. I don't know why all of a sudden the feeds started working. This is great. So turn your notifications off. If, like for me, I have a really sensitive startle response. My phone is on dead silent. It does not even vibrate. I don't have any notifications that pop up on my phone at all because it was causing me tremendous stress. Physically and emotionally, it was draining my energy and I was getting so distracted. Guys, I have a hard enough time. I have ADHD. I don't need to be distracted. Seriously, I don't need to be distracted. I need all the energy and the focus and the concentration that I can muster for most things. So just that shift in removing notifications from my phone has been a huge help. And scheduling in the when I was going to make sure I was going to go check those things. I didn't miss anything. I haven't missed anything. It's just done in a way that keeps me from using the energy that I have and using it really wisely. More angry than burnout. Okay. Anger usually comes from something. And you got to ask yourself, why am I angry? And sometimes when you have alexithymia like me, or you just have so many emotions happening at one time, anger is just the first thing that happens. And anger happens in burnout too. It happens from exhaustion. God, I would get so mean, so cranky, so irritable, so snappy. Those are some of my signs to know that I'm moving into burnout. Prevention things going into burnout is what things pour into me? What things do I really enjoy? And being able to say, you know, this is something that really pours into me. Yoga does that for me. Taking a walk, hiking, going for a run, all of those things. And when I'm not doing them, I know that it's because there's an imbalance there and I've got to go back and check. One of the big things that I've really been learning over the last couple months, guys, and this is what I want to share with you today, is that you don't just create your burnout prevention and recovery plan and it's a done deal, it's a one and done thing. This is a living, breathing tool. And it is constantly in evolution, which is a bit exhausting to think about because we're always going, okay, I fixed this, now it's done, I should be able to move on to the next thing. And geez, that would be so nice. But that's just not the reality of it because we have so many factors and variables in our lives that are changing, that are constantly in flux. And when we don't have a plan and we're not already working from a framework, it can be exhausting because you're reinventing the wheel every dang day. My friend, I created this burnout balance plan so you have the foundation. So you're not reinventing the wheel every time. You're just looking at it and readjusting. It's a whole lot easier just to readjust the tension on my bike pedals as I'm going than it is to slip the chain, have to stop and redo it every darn time, right? Because that's exhausting. That uses a lot of energy. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I hope just doing the notifications on your phone is a really big de-stressor. Find out what your signposts are. You know, what are some things so I know when I start doing these things, I'm on the road to recovery. I know that even on the days that I might be having a really tough day and it feels like I'm floating in this murky abyss, because it can feel that way without some signposts. So if I know I'm making my bed 3 days a week, Nancy knows if she's doing her hair and makeup at least 2 or 3 days a week, she's on the road to recovery, even if she has a crappy day, even if I have a crappy day, even if you have a crappy day. You've got those things to say, okay, I know this is just a rough period right now, but I'm on the road to recovery. And then you analyze, well, what did I do that kind of led to where I am today? Why am I having a rough day today? What did I do yesterday? And what can I add or take away from what I'm doing right now to get me back in balance? And guys, step back and ask, who am I being in life, not what am I doing? I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much to everybody that's been here. We've had a huge group pop in, and I know there'll be more in the replay. If you have questions and I haven't answered them, or they didn't pop up in my feed, I'm sorry, I don't know what the glitch is today. Please make sure you pop them in the comments, and I will go in after this and personally answer each one of them. Take care, my dear butterfly friends, and get to unveiling. See you soon.